Okay, my next video that I wanted to tape was just on some theorems and how the different angles and arcs are related to each other whenever I have chords and tangents intersecting. So if you look on page 7 of your packet, this talks about if I have a tangent and a chord that intersect on the circle, and the key here is they intersect on the circle. And when this happens, it's kind of like an inscribed angle because the measure of the angle is half of the measure of the arc. So if I know that the arc measure here, AB, is, let's say, 90, then I would know that the angle measure is going to be 45 because it is half of that. So let's look at this and let's find a couple of examples that are like this. Let's look at, I'm on page 8 and I have two examples, number 5 and number 8, that are like this. This is a chord with a tangent line. So I know that my angle measure 3x is equal to half of my arc measure. So I have 3x is equal to 4x plus 50. So I just set up 4x plus 50 divided by 2. So I set up my equation, and I put this over 1, and I'm going to actually cross multiply and set my cross products equal to each other. And I just multiply 3x times 2 and then set that equal to 4x plus 50. And I'm going to just solve the equation. So I subtract 4x from both sides. It's 2x is equal to 50. And divide both sides by 2. And so x is equal to 25. So this intersects on the circle, and it is a tangent and a chord, and I know that the angle measure is half of the arc measure. So that's how I would solve that. The same situation goes for number 8. It is on the circle, and I know that my angle measure, 7x minus 10, is equal to half of the arc measure. So 7x minus 10 is equal to 60. I add 10 to both sides. So 7x is equal to 70, divided by 7, and x is equal to 10. So we've solved for x. If I wanted to know what the angle measure was, I would just say the angle measure is 60. So that gives you an example of a tangent and a chord. The next situation that I have is that I have two chords that intersect inside a circle. And I know that the angle measure here, so ABE, so this angle measure, I'm going to add this, that arc, and I'm going to get a highlighter, this arc plus this arc, and divide it by 2. So it's equal to the arc sum divided by 2. So I find my angle that I'm trying to determine the measure for, and I add the two arcs, so the arc of the intersecting arc, but also the arc of the vertical angle, and I'm going to add those together. So let's look on the next page and see if we have any examples. If you look at number 3, this is a great example here. So number 3, I want to find what x is. It intersects inside the circle, and I know that x degrees is equal to the arc sum, 120 plus 40, divided by 2. So x degrees is equal to 160 divided by 2, so x degrees is 80 degrees. And I know that if x is 80 degrees, because this is a linear pair, y has to be 100 degrees. Now, number 6 is also the same type of situation. So I know that my angle measure, 86, is equal to half of 112 plus x divided by 2. So here I'm going to put 86 over 1, and I'm going to cross multiply. So in this situation, I have 172 is equal to 112 plus x. I'm going to subtract 112. So 60 is equal to x, and so I know that x is 60 degrees. And again, this is inside the circle. So that gives you an example of that one. The next one that we talked about was a tangent and a secant, or two tangents or two secants that intersect outside the circle. So I'm always looking for it to intersect outside the circle. So in this case, I have where it intersects, and I have this major arc, AFD, and I'm going to subtract the minor arc and divide it by 2, and it's equal to the angle measure. So I'm going to need 2 different arcs to find the difference of, and then I'm going to divide it by 2. So it's arc difference divided by 2. So the page, every single time looking for divided by 2. So number 2 is 24, and I difference it's divided by, you multiply 48 equal to 200, add x, it's plus 4 to 200, and I say from both, I would equal to degrees. So example of equation, secant, then, or actually 2 tangents. The next type of situation would be number 4. So again, I have the difference. So I have 158 minus x divided by 2 is equal to 40. So I multiply both sides by 2 minus x, and so then I'm going to add x and then end up in the end subtracting 80 minus 80 minus 80. So in this situation, x is going to be 78. So another type of situation that I have is where I have, well, actually, I think that covers all the different ones here. We'll look at number 7 again because it's just another type of problem. So number 7 is I have a variable, x minus d, subtract value minus divided by. So situation, I'm going to multiply cross x plus 7, and it's going to end sides equal to 7, and leave equal to, and this is to not again examples formulas arc measure either measure.